Good morning, moms in real estate. Happy Monday. I'm so excited. Look at two of my favorite people are here.
Good morning. We love it. We are excited to be here. And I was telling Kayla, she has like the perfect green. She matches all of our green.
There is a lot of green going on right now. It's like a fun, I don't know. I love this green.
Me too.
Me too.
This morning, you guys were talking about lead gen strategies. And I think that Kayla, you actually were like debating what to do your this on. And you were like, I noticed in the group that people are asking about lead gen strategies all the time. And so I think it's a perfect topic. And I'm really excited to kind of dive into your specific business and how you're generating leads.
Yes, absolutely. I'm so grateful to be here. Super excited to chat with everyone. We like to give you guys what you need, and this has been a huge topic the past couple of weeks is new agents, seasoned agents, agents across the board wanting lead generation tips. So that's what we're going to do today.
Well, I love it. I actually, funny enough, I was on a call this morning at like 8 a.m. Around lead gen. And here's the thing. It's really important, like you said, no matter where you are in your business, that you have that hot, that cold, and that warm, right? And you have different types of leads coming in. So I'm excited to hear. So question number one that we have for you today is, how did you first figure out your best lead strategy?
Absolutely.
Like your best lead gen.
So going back to day one, when I first started real estate, we were dirt poor. So I could not afford to buy any leads at all. So my wheels were just turning about what exactly I could do with, our best currency, time, to be able to lead generate. And I started going to just events in the community and the neighborhood and meeting as many people as I could. And I even started being a vendor table at other events. And if they needed volunteers, I would be a volunteer to get my vendor spot for free, because what I always say is conversations equal closings. And if there aren't events that you can plug into yet, you can absolutely get a vendor table at like wedding expos or even like little farmers markets at parks and stuff. That served me very well in the beginning. And then once I noticed that it was working, I circled my entire business around that strategy as a whole.
So let me ask you a question about that, because I feel like a lot of people really love the idea of that, but where they might not realize is it's not just showing up at the events. It's like the whole process before, during, and after. So maybe give them some of your strategies when you're going into, like, let's say there's a community event, like a new business is opening or something. What would you do?
Absolutely. The most powerful way to leverage community events is, like you said before, it's an entire process before the event, during the event, and after the event. And the biggest way is to build that like, no, trust factor even before the event. So as an example, if a new business is opening in the area, I'm not just going to message them and ask them, hey, can I host something at your grand opening? I'm going to go full stalker mode for a couple weeks beforehand. I'm going to love on their social media so they continuously see my name. I'm going to get in their DMs and make sure they know that I'm rooting for them. I'm so glad you're coming to the Melbourne area. That's my city. That's why I use that as an example. And just try to build that conversational relationship for a couple weeks. And then boom, I would love to be involved in your grand opening.
Yes.
After we become friendly, it's kind of like that give, ask. Like you have to give several times before you can ask for something, and engagement is free. It's easy. You can do it right on your phone. You don't have to go anywhere. And it is the best way to develop relationships online before ever stepping a foot in an event or creating an event.
Is there anything post-event that you do?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I continue the same exact strategy. You guys, it could be so stupid simple, is loving on them after the event continuously on their pages, and not real estate related. Like if they post a cute picture, I'm asking them where they got their shirt from. I'm telling them that they look cute with how they did their hair that day, just kind of thinking of anything that's genuine. And I'm not talking about like just throwing some flame emojis on someone's post. You actually want to do a thoughtful comment to where they have to reply to you. And then their subconscious is continually saying your name all across the board. And it helps build that like, no, trust factor, which I say all the time. And before, during, and after continuously doing that, you can actually create really great friendships. Some of my closest friends I met at events and we're friends today, and they turned into real estate clients. So it really just full circle creates a brand around you as being that community realtor.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. And I think that's one of the areas that gets missed is the intentionality, because everybody's like, all right, I'm going to go to all the places and do all the things. Like, no, do 2 or 3 events really, really well and actually be intentional before and after. So I love that. Now, obviously that's how you got going. But where would you say your primary source of leads comes from today, now that you are established?
Absolutely. Today, my primary is past clients. 100% almost completely past client, and then still community realtor. I really, that's my whole persona. But my past clients, I love them. I stalk them on social media. If they have a baby, I'm the first one to say congratulations. If they are going through, it's not always rainbows and butterflies either. Like if they're going through a divorce, I'm the first one there for them to vent to and help them through that hard situation. And, you know, I love these people. Some of my clients, I've been through like 4 new children that they've had across now that I've been doing this for 10 years. And I always teach my students that you can get $3 to $5 million and more closings from every single closing that you have if you nurture that client correctly. Not salesy, but correctly. There's a difference between creating a genuine relationship and then just being like, can I have a referral? Can I have a referral? Can I have a referral? Like it actually has to be a relationship-based referral business, if that makes sense.
So I have a question for you, because you do a lot of deals every year for 10 years now. And so someone might be watching thinking like, how the hell do you do this with so many people, right? And so I think that there is maybe some like little golden nuggets on how you stay top of mind to them doing what you're saying, especially because I think of like out of sight, out of mind. Some of our clients aren't online. They're not posting all the time. So how do you know what's going on with them?
Absolutely. So the number one thing that will set you up for failure with trying to keep top of mind through social media is by just waiting for your past clients to come up in your feed, because the algorithm is not our friend. It's not anybody's friend. It doesn't matter how amazing you are online. If you're creating all the reels, whatever it is, people get dropped off. You will forget about people. So I personally have an ABC system for all of my clients. They are on an Excel spreadsheet, super old, not fancy, but it works. And 3 times a week without fault, this is like a non-negotiable for me. I have them broken up into 3 sections of the alphabet, and I will go A through G, for example, and then the middle letters, and then the end letters, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 20-minute blocks. You get all your clients done. And I do that once a quarter. Now, if you're going through your ABC spreadsheet and you know, some of my clients, I'm in Florida, we are a retirement community. Some of my clients are in their 70s. They're not on Facebook and social media. I'm giving them a call. Like one of my ladies doesn't even text. I have to physically call her and be like, how are you doing? She's like, oh my God, Kayla, how are your kids? And just, it's so easy to do it that way.
Yeah, you put it, I mean, the way that you explain it, it is so easy. I think that everyone overcomplicates it. And you do the same thing with your, working within Facebook communities. So I really think like being intentional with those time blocks, like she's saying, if she says 3 times a week, 20 minutes a day, we're like, we could do that.
Yeah.
So easy. It's not time consuming at all.
Well, it's one of those things too. I always tell agents, you're going to have pain somewhere in your business, and you can either choose to have it up front in the build, or you can choose to have it in the pivot because you went for the low hanging fruit. Right. And so, and it's funny because as I am growing my team right now, just being transparent, like I feel that pressure to want to create opportunities for them. And so I'm like, okay, let me look at what's on there. Like, let me look at the sources. And then inevitably I'm like, no, like you've got to do the work and the intentional relationship building up front, because that compounds year over year. And if you do that, if you're a new agent watching this and you do what Kayla's talking about right now, by year 2 and year 3, that's how you have those big businesses. And that's how all of a sudden you got out of the, oh, I hope I can sell 5 houses a year, to holy smokes, I'm scaling to 20, 30, 40, right? The scale happens in the relationship. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, 100,000%. And then you're not going to be stressed out. What I see happen with agents a lot is they'll have a really, really good month. They'll have like 5, 6 closings, but then for 2 months, they have nothing because they got so busy. They got rolling, they paid attention to the lead generation. They're like, wow, 6 files. I'm doing amazing. They stop lead generating.
Yep.
And then they have 30, 45 days with no closings. They start that panic lead generation and they start doing it again, get busy again, and it drops off. So their business is like this. It's like a roller coaster. And I teach, we want a flat line. Like that's the type of business we want to sustain our vacations, our bills, or like we're not putting stuff on credit cards. Financial freedom is what we should all be aiming for. So we can have some bonus months, but that baseline should always be there. And when we take care of our past clients and our community, you will always have that baseline. I cannot even tell you the last time I went 30 days without a closing. I cannot even remember it, like maybe 6 years ago. And now I'm like, man, if I don't get 3 closings a month,
right. I know that feeling. Well, and I think this is important. And so one takeaway, like if you're watching this and listen, shift your mindset from lead gen to relationship building. Like that's going to be huge. I think that we think lead gen and we freeze as agents, especially as moms who like hate the thought of cold calling or door knocking. Like we freeze and we don't do it. What if you just committed to relationship building? So on that note, would you walk us through like what your daily or weekly activities look like and kind of what that looks like so that you're continuing to build those relationships while serving your clients well?
Yeah, absolutely. My entire business plan is the past client nurturing and community events. That's literally it. And I sell over $20 million a year. I do a community event every single month, which I know sounds a little overwhelming to some people who don't. And then I also have my chapter leader community where we do content days every single month. So that's 2 things a month I'm doing every single month without fail. It's non-negotiables. And then I do my past client follow-up. But if you think about how much time some people who have a little bit of a different style of business, for example, if it's like Zillow leads that where you're like rushing to answer your phone all the time, that's hours a day that they're putting in to nurture those. I work like 3 days a week to have a $20 million business. Like I'll take that. I'll sign up for that. And now I do have some coaching students who they do not want to do the community building thing at all. They are introverts to their core. They want to do something at their desk. And there are lead generation strategies for agents with that type of personality and that type of heart that they have. So I do want to leave everyone with that too. Like there's more than one way to be successful in this career. And I will preach the community realtor till the day that I die because it works so good and it's so easy, especially if you're a talker like me. But I also want to, like kind of talk about a few other options for people who are like, there's no way I'm doing events all the time.
Yeah. No, I get it. So tell us some of those things. I mean, I also, just like you, built mine on events. I remember in the beginning of my career being terrified because my events were public and I'm like, please just one person show up, like one person show up. And fast forward years later, I'm so thankful and honored that they're closed events and it's 200 to 300, past clients that are by invite only. And so I also love that language, but let's talk about like some of the other things. What are some of the other lead gen for the introverts that you're seeing that are successful?
Absolutely. I want to talk about 3 that work. And one is still behind the phone, behind the computer for social media is farming Facebook groups. There is a brilliant way you can do this that does not include events. And it is just being a resource inside the group for everybody that posts. And you can do the same 3-day-a-week method where you're inside whatever your farm Facebook group is to get to know everybody, nurture them. And you're kind of like a modern day Ask Abby, where like no matter what question someone asks, some of these mom groups get a little spicy, you guys.
They do.
But if you don't know the answer, put it in ChatGPT, twist it a little bit to sound like a person instead of a robot, and put your answer on there. It won't even be real estate related. But when you're up in the mix and people see, okay, Realtor Jane Smith is always helping us no matter what the issue is, just virtually in the comments, the first person they're going to think about when they want to make a post asking for a local realtor is going to be Realtor Jane Smith. It's so easy. And you can even build your email list inside the Facebook group you're going to farm by dropping golden nuggets for people to grab. Like one that is super popular in my area is creating a guide of all the summer camps and their deadlines for application. Our summer camps are wild here. They always fill up, and moms who miss the deadline of the application are so upset every single year. It's like, well, You should have got Jane Smith's guide.
I hope someone in Gilbert is listening and does this for me.
Okay, hold on. Let's back this up a little bit because this is so good. But let's give them tactical steps. So are you saying like be the creator of the Facebook group and specifically go for moms, right?
No.
Or just be a member, right?
Yes, just a member. Find a group that is already thriving in your area. Like find one where the moms are always yapping, always in arguments in the group, because that's whichever group in your area is like popping off is what we call it in our area. Like, dang, that group gets 30 posts a day. Go in there, comment on 10 a day.
Yeah.
It'll take you 15 minutes. People are going to start saying your name all the time. And it gets so funny because someone can ask the most bizarre question. And once you get known as the person who gives the good advice, they're going to be like, oh, Kayla Adamson can answer this for you. It's not even real estate related, but you get tagged in the real estate post too.
Yeah.
You built that connection as being everyone's go-to for whatever it is that you also get tagged in those. So it's a really, really easy way to build your reputation in the community.
And it really works. Like I've seen you over the year do this within Moms in Real Estate, and like your name is completely like all over in that group, which is great, you know? And so it really, really works. I think the big thing to think about is like that consistency factor and knowing it's going to take time. But if you do it, you know, however many months later, you're going to be the one that they go to.
Well, and it's such a smarter build, right? Like, I mean, I've created these groups and I've created these communities, and it's so much work, even in Moms in Real Estate. Like I spend so much time on the back end running us and making sure everything is there that I miss a lot of the relationship building. Yeah. And so I think that that's a huge golden nugget that Kayla just gave us is like, and I tell my agents this, you don't have to be the creator, be the contributor. Yep. You don't have to be the creator, be the contributor, right? Like I tell my agents this all the time, like show up and be somebody's contributor. So I love that. Okay. So now when you're giving like that amazing, like, hey guys, you know, if you want to get the guide and you get the email, what are you doing with the email? Because obviously you don't want to then like spam them, right? So you're sending them the guide, and then how are you using their email after you deliver the guide?
Absolutely. Send the guide and then drop them on your newsletter, which you can do behind the scenes. It's not face-to-face, and your newsletter can be monthly home maintenance tips. Your newsletter could be events that are happening in the community that you're not even going to, but you're letting everyone else know about the events that are happening in the community. It could be about absolutely anything, deadlines for summer camps, where all the egg hunts are in the spring. Like you just become like the go-to, where the best coffee shops are, anything and everything about the community that you can put in a newsletter. But the easiest thing is a monthly home maintenance checklist. This is a Modern Agent Social Club plug, but she started this like 4 years ago, and I've done it for 4 years, and it's such an easy thing to send out, and everybody reads it. And then your information is just subtly at the bottom as like the go-to realtor. Like you're not spamming people in their face with market updates. I think that's old news. Like send your past clients a market update for their home anniversary. But outside of that, nobody wants a market update every month, you guys. Nobody. Like unsubscribe is what's going to happen if that's what's being sent to people all the time.
What do you use for your email marketing? What platform?
I use Flowdesk. I will say I'm a creature of habit. If something works for me once, I just continue to use it. I'm sure there's better platforms out there now, especially with how often Flowdesk goes to spam. You have to tell people like, check not spam with Flowdesk.
Yeah, lately it's been a struggle, but I also think that's a Gmail thing. But yeah, what other platforms have been like kind of a game changer for you?
I keep it so stupid simple. Facebook, Instagram, Flowdesk, Follow Up Boss for my CRM. Literally, that's it. I do not use anything fancy. I just downloaded Google Chrome for this StreamYard to work.
Oh my goodness. I love it.
Get honesty from me.
That is so funny.
I love this, Kayla, because I think this is such an important topic. I told Kristen, and Kristen's like, what are you going to talk about at the Moms in Real Estate live event? And I'm like, I'm going to tell everybody, stop doing all the things. Exactly. You know, like everybody just has so many layers on their business, and they make it so complicated, and they have so many tools. And you are showing us that you can have a simple business that is manageable. That's the other thing, right? Like if you're not trying to do all the things, you can do a handful of things very, very well, and then you can have even more success. Would you say that like keeping it simple has been one of the pivotal things that has like changed the course of your career?
Absolutely. 100%. I always say KISS, keep it stupid simple.
I always tell you that.
One, how stressful is it to remember all the logins to all these things?
That's the worst.
I don't want a new system just because of that alone.
Mhm.
And keeping it so simple allows you to just not have all that noise in your mind. When you have like a clarity in your mind, you can get so much more done. I think so many agents get stuck in the analysis of always thinking they need something new to do anything. And you don't. Like all the time, it's like, what's the best CRM? Whatever one you will use.
Yep.
It literally doesn't matter which one it is.
Well, and even you're saying like you have a spreadsheet that you go down 3 times a week. Like don't overcomplicate it. If you're like, I never log into my CRM system, then maybe really fine tune your Excel spreadsheet, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can just save so much money when you don't think you need to buy all these fancy systems. You really don't. And even with the lead generation, one of the first things I teach in Stay Bossy agents is a lead pillar audit. And a lot of times I see that realtors are putting effort into like 9 different buckets.
Yep,
But
they're
it's
not going deep.
5% effort. Let's pick 3 or 4 with 100% effort and drop all the rest. Like literally stop doing it. Cancel. Focus on these 3. And you literally, one single lead pillar should be 6 figures a year. If it's not, let it out. That's what I say. Like if something's only bringing you a couple closings here and there, it's not worth the effort. You can put that effort into a better lead pillar and grow it. And 4 lead pillars, 6 figures each, there's a $400,000 a year career.
Yeah.
Like, but that's what we need.
Yeah, I agree. Now, Kayla, though, playing devil's advocate a little bit, you and I both got into this business before agents leveled up their relationship building and their services. And I think that was an advantage for us because business had been done a certain way for a really long time. So like when we came along and we started building experience and relationship and doing all these things, it was a game changer and it allowed us to build these highly referred businesses, right? Now, with that said, if there was an agent that was just getting into the business now, where there are, and I'm happy to say this, and I'm actually proud of this, like there's a lot of good agents out there that are great at relationship building, that are great at referrals and great at, networking. This business can make you feel, it does the comparison to us really bad. And so I hear agents that are like, well, I want to farm, but there's already an agent in my market, or I want to do that event, but I know that there's already an agent signed up. So what is your advice for the agent that's starting right now? If you were starting right now from scratch, how would you build your business and what would that look like?
That is such a good question. So valuable because like you said, when we first started, there was a very small percentage of realtors growing their business, how we grow ours. And you just reminded me how old I am.
Well, you're younger than me, so don't worry. And you've been in the business half the time, so I'm older.
If I started today, I honestly would start leveraging Instagram even more.
Really?
That's one thing that I regret. I didn't start really plugging into Instagram until about 2 years ago. And I feel like if I would have plugged in like 8 years ago, like how phenomenal would have that been? And you guys, you can start right now. You could start tomorrow. I think it's just as impactful for a brand new agent to start right now on Instagram than it was 8 years ago, because I just started plugging into mine like 2 years ago. And I would do community building on Instagram and go to as many businesses in the community that I possibly could and do small business spotlights, interviews with them, local community content. And that alone is going to grow your brand as a community realtor. Because typically, if you make a reel with a small business spotlight, that small business will absolutely share it for you. And you're going to get in front of their audience too.
Yeah.
And then all the nosy people in the community love seeing stuff about the community. So they're going to start following you just because you're eating at all the cool places, just because you're shopping at the cute little hidden boutiques and you're doing all the local community stuff. And then I would have grabs in my bio, like a link tree or something. I'm sure there's something fancier now than link tree, but I still use link tree and have like the community guide, relocation guide, best restaurants in Brevard guide, all of that. That's probably what I.
And I want to dissect what you just said. So when you said social media, I think the first thing that comes to a lot of agents' mind is like that agent that has 20,000 followers that is showing up and has like all of the perfect content and the curated content. And we want you to like get that completely out of your head. That's not what she said at all. She said she would leverage social media to deepen her community building and her relationships.
Yes.
So it's just a tool that wasn't as available when she was building. That is, she's saying would be the game changer. It would actually be, and tell me if I'm wrong, Kayla, but you're basically saying this would be an accelerant. This would put fire on that building.
Yes.
And you,
yes, and
go ahead.
It would still be the basis of being a community realtor. This is just a faster way to get there without having a past client list yet.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, I just did a hack recently. So I did this and I'm guilty. I need to get back to the basics, right? I think we're all guilty of like running really great businesses and then inevitably getting distracted. And I did this for a really long time where I featured businesses and I featured the businesses and I did all the things. And then I kind of got away from that. And so the other day I was like, dang, I need to like get it going. And I was like, you know what? I can do it without like having to go out. I'm going to go to the restaurant and do the thing. But I just remixed a reel from a new restaurant. I just remixed it and I was like, oh, check this out. And it's so funny because that Sunday at church, somebody was like, oh, I'm going to try out that restaurant you just shared. Like,
yes.
It was just a remix. It was the simplest thing ever. I just remixed a reel. And I've had like 3 or 4 people say to me, I saw that restaurant on your Instagram. So it doesn't even have to be, I mean, yes, I agree with what you're saying, Kayla, right? Absolutely. Like take the opportunity, meet the restaurant owner, go there, show your personal experience, but also you can just support them. And that's one of the things you're saying you would do also, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Support them. And if you want to turn it up a notch, you can make it a challenge in your community when you're reaching just community members versus the business owners, and say the first 5 people who go visit this place and tag me, they're going to get a free coffee on me next time they go. And like get interactive with the community, and golden, you're going to grow like exponentially.
Well, I think you've given our moms tons to think about. And I also want to just say one thing too. Kayla didn't talk about this at all, but I've been doing this for a really, really long time. And I will tell you that one of the things that is a huge differentiator between agents that succeed and agents that don't is confidence and blinders. And I've known Kayla for not that long now, but I can tell you that there's 2 things that she does extremely well. Number one, she's extremely confident, and that doesn't come from like a place of arrogance. It comes from the fact that she works to make sure she serves her clients well, and she knows what she's doing. So she is a student of the industry. And then number 2, she puts her blinders on. In fact, I kiddingly said to Kristen the other day, I was like, hey, is she reading my text messages? Like she hasn't texted back. And so, but I also get that because we are by nature so distracted every single day. And what I know about her is she knows what her priorities are, what her focus is. She has confidence that she's the best person for the job, and she puts her blinders on and does the work. So if you're a mom right now wondering, can I hit that next level? Can I make it in this business? Can I actually make real estate work? Like get confident. Yes, you can. And put your blinders on and just do the work. Would you agree? Like just do the damn work.
I completely agree. And Randy, you don't know this, and this is going to be a total God thing, but there is an entire chapter in my book about confidence.
Is there? I didn't know that.
Just said in it. So I just like, Holy Spirit is here. Okay.
Always, always, always. Every single morning, I'm like, I don't know, I just saw this recently, but it was so powerful. Like before I get up, I'm like, before I get in my own head, let the Holy Spirit get in my head. Like let the Holy Spirit get in my head before I get in my own head. And it is such a game changer because those little voices, like no matter how confident we are, like no matter how good we are, they get us in one way or the other. They find that one weak link and then they'll distract us. And I love that about you, that you just stay focused. I think it's a game changer.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yes, and I'm excited to see you. So if you're out there watching and you don't know, we're going to actually, Kristen's hosting a Moms in Real Estate live podcast event this coming Friday. I think there's just a handful of tickets left, maybe like 3 or 4. So if you're in the Arizona area or you want to grab a cheap ticket and come hang out with all of us, Kayla is going to be our guest there. And so super excited for that. Kristen, did you want to share anything?
Sorry, I'm in my car now. We're sold out. So if you want to hang out with us,
You can't come.
I know, but you can come to my house later. That's open for whoever, and we have live music, and Randy, Kayla, and myself will be there. So come have a drink and listen to an amazing, amazing singers.
Yay, it's going to be so fun. And also, Kayla, you do have a coaching program. So if somebody is interested, how would they connect with you on that coaching program?
Absolutely. My Instagram is the Kayla Adamson. Come shoot me a message and we'll talk about it.
Yes, and watch for her book. When is the launch date for the book, friend?
May 2nd.
Oh my goodness. That's this coming weekend, right?
That's this Friday. Everyone who is going to be at the Moms in Real Estate Live podcast is going to get a copy of this book, and then it goes live same day for everyone who isn't there.
Oh, I love this. All right, moms, thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back next week with another episode of Moms in Real Estate in the Morning. Bye, guys.
Go sell some houses.
Yes.